even comprehend the idea that there's any single point in the process of taking an animal from the moment of its conception to the moment of its planned murder and then consumption. Like, you're eating a dead animal that didn't deserve to die. He or she does not deserve to die. Like, deserve, you know, it's actually a creature that has rights. It has rights. I mean, you may take those rights away, wanting to be healthy through what you eat, and wanting to eat foods that are animal-free, whether it's the animal's flesh, animal's menstruation, like eggs, animal's lactations, like a mother's milk, whether it's a cow or a goat or a sheep, and the thing with eggs, it's like amazing about eggs, because so many people who can understand, you don't want to kill somebody, they don't like that, you don't want to, maybe they might understand why, impregnating animals just to steal their babies, just to steal their milk, and then kill them and eat them afterwards, like after you've spent their bodies, after just like 4 or 5 years when they could live to be 20, 30 years old. But yet somehow it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine, Okay, and if you can see that that's not fine, then there's still like such a block for people to understand, why are eggs not good? Like, why is an egg not okay to eat? They just it's like some people say, well, the cows just have the milk. Okay, no, if you can explain, no, they don't just have the milk. Actually, you have to do all this stuff to them that's really terrible, and it's sickening, and it's illness causing, and it's yuck, okay? So same thing goes with the chickens, but then there's like people who are like, okay, well, I'm going to have a chicken in my backyard. And then they say, I guess because it's such small scale, like, okay, I can understand that it's terrible to have chickens cramped in somewhere and you steal their eggs, and that's bad, but the smaller scale it becomes, does that somehow make it more acceptable, like, if you do something terrible, but you only do it to one animal, is it, the value of the terribleness is less because you're not contributing, let's say you say, I refuse to buy eggs from anywhere. I won't even buy from the local guy. I'm going to only have my 1 or 2 chickens or whatever. But then I was reading, like, that's not, if you have 1 or 2 chickens, you're not going to get that many eggs. Anyway, eggs are not even healthy for you. It's like the whole thing. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. You shouldn't be eating eggs because they're bad for your health. They do not provide any healthful benefits. They're not nutritious. They're not safe. If you don't believe me, you can look it up, because the FDA, they said this themselves. Like, the government knows the shit is not good for you. But they also support the farmers who, I guess it's cheap to, they're basically just using these creatures from every single point, except for the male babies that, they just fucking kill those because one-day-old male babies are not worth, it's actually kind of expensive. That's what I read about keeping chickens. It can be kind of expensive to feed chickens and to have a nice, good home for them, to have an area that's nice. Like, they deserve love. Like, they probably don't really they're not sitting around like, oh, I want this human to hug me. They probably don't really, they probably just want to live their chicken life, whatever. It's like, that's the thing that's just so amazing to me, is that so many people believe that because that animal that you don't understand, whether it's a pig, or today I just read some really terrible, like, bacon though comments. It's like, I guess it's just really hard for me to understand and to relate to the mindset that a lot of people seem to have, and people who seem to be otherwise nice people, reasonable, decent sort of people. But then it's like they seem to think that just because an animal has a different language, a different body shape, a different life expectancy, a different way to communicate, that somehow it makes it okay, acceptable, preferable, mandatory, necessary, needed, desirable to control that animal's life completely, whether you're caging it or, you know, whatever it may be, whether it's there's someone else who's keeping those animals enslaved so they can do whatever it is, whether it's suck their I mean, I don't know, something about just existing and having a body. Even though I don't have a cow body, but something tells me that the cow body feels a lot like my body feels to me. Even though I can move my body this way and that way, and the cow can do what the cow can do, and I can speak out and I can have emotions the way I do, and the cows get to do that the way they do. And, like, you know, you think that being pregnant is nothing? Do you think that the physical and emotional and spiritual and mental demands of being pregnant are completely meaningless? And do you think that just because this animal is a cow, that she doesn't have a spiritual element? Do you believe that? Do you believe she doesn't have a mental element? That she can't think? Do you actually believe that this cow has no emotions? And when I say this cow, I mean these billions of cows. And do you really think that they don't have physical needs and feelings and feel pain like they can feel pleasure and love? I've seen cows jumping for joy in the fields of grass in the spring, just as anyone would. Anyone who bothers to take the time to enjoy the wonderful things that life has to offer. So, go vegan. There's a million and fucking thousand reasons. There's almost like infinite fucking reasons why you will go vegan. No oil, oil-free, whole food, plant-based vegan. And be kind, rewind, listen to the message again, and again, and again, and again. And enjoy. Bye. Lovely, opinionated, vegan, evolving. This is my evolution. Love. When you think of me, think of love.